you're absolutely right. We're not getting the compliance percentages that is the critical mass. And so what we're hoping to do with this bylaw is that in effect is going to be an additional communication method. We talked about passive enforcement, and that's what we want to do, is to continue educating and communicating to our citizens that mask wearing is important. Let's talk about businesses. We engaged over 2,000 businesses when drafting this bylaw. We heard loud and clear that business owners did not want to be entirely responsible for actions beyond their control. The bylaw was written in a manner that makes it easy for businesses to comply. You will also notice that the bylaw is silent on business requirements to enforce the bylaw. We encourage business owners to remind customers of the rule. However, business owners are not expected to deny services, as not everybody is able to wear a mask. The bylaw will be passively enforced. Shared enforcement responsibilities will be between Community Standards, the Calgary Police Service, Calgary Transit, very similar to the enforcement responsibilities for physical distancing measures and mass gathering restrictions in April and May.
My next questions are for Ms. Choi. So I just want to run through just a couple of scenarios, if I may, with regards to how this bylaw will impact certain areas. So let's take the bus driver. Basically, somebody tries to get on the bus without a mask. What is the bus driver's responsibility on this?
Thank you for the question, Councillor Demong, through your worship. The bus driver's responsibilities would be very similar to that of a business owner or a proprietor, according to this bylaw. We will not have any expectations for bus drivers or business owners to deny service. What we want is for our business owners, bus drivers, to educate. I believe that...
There we go. I was like, that was beautiful. We had a little bit of dinner music for our conversation, but it's gone now. Go ahead.
I am getting a nod from Mr. Samuel Hope on that process. And Councillor Demong, if you're looking for additional information, we can certainly have Mr. Samuel Hope address any other questions in regards to Calgary Transit.
Well, I mean, Calgary Transit simply translates quite easily to the business owner / proprietor, and that's why I started with that when it is our city officials. So in that same extent, the question, the business owner themselves are not required to refuse service. They're not required to insist on a mask. They're simply asked to say, hey, would you mind putting on a mask? And if they actually happen to have one, they could hand one over. But other than that, there's no fine potential for the business owner or for the person at the shop. I'm just looking for the downside. I've been a small business owner, and there's enough problems that they have to face on an ongoing basis that I don't want this bylaw to be infringing upon what they need to be doing to keep their business open and keep their economy running.
So, Councillor Demong, thank you for the question. Through your worship, the only thing in this bylaw that a business owner is required to do is to go to Schedule A, I believe it is, print and post that sign that has the bylaw in a prominent location where individuals, shortly after entering your premise, can see that sign. That is how the bylaw is written today. I think one of the things that our team did a really good job on with this bylaw is we engaged our business owners. We had a survey out for 2 days, and over 2,000 business owners got in contact with us. And we heard all of the challenges that the business owners may face, and we made sure that this bylaw addresses business owners' concerns.
So out of those 2,000 business owners, they all came back to you unanimously and said, this is the bylaw we want to see?
Oh, gosh.
That would be impressive.
Yeah.
That would be impressive.
Yeah, Councillor Demong, yeah, thanks for that question. And no, that's, I don't know how to answer that. No, they expressed some challenges, of course, right? But what I do know is that there's almost 20% of businesses today currently have a mandatory face covering rule or policy for their business. And so what we heard from that 20% is, apologies, it's running down my face. what we heard from that 20% is, hey, we really appreciate if it was equaling or leveling the playing field with all of the businesses. Some of them were concerned that customers were going to other very similar businesses that didn't have this rule. What we heard more often in this engagement survey was that business owners did not want to be policing this bylaw. They did not want to be denying service to their customers. And so really what I'm saying to you is that we heard the concerns of the business owners, and we're hoping that the bylaw as written addresses the majority of the concerns.
Thank you for that, Ms. Choi, and I actually appreciate the way the bylaw is written for that, and I just wanted to be completely concrete clear as to how the impact on the owners is. Have you heard from any of them?
Councillor Demong, thank you for your question. Through your worship, we did hear from the Canadian Federation of Independent Businesses, and I think that was the organization that you referred to. What we heard from them was that this is a collective responsibility between us and the businesses, and they understand that. They want to help limit the spread of COVID, and they are the ones specifically that identified that, and I just want to quote it here, that they want to make sure that small businesses are not required to do anything that is outside of their control. That is who we heard from, and that is how we tailored this bylaw to make sure that we met the needs of this organization. So what we know today is that 34% of Calgarians always wear face coverings. If this research is true, we're in that ballpark, we're going to have a critical mass of 60% of Calgarians wearing face masks in the beginning of fall. I think that's a win.